What is going on? Welcome back to the channel. Today is January the 28th. I want to give you a quick pre-market update, go over some of the hot movers and what big money is focusing on today. Before we get into any of that, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So starting off with data points, we just had mortgage applications and mortgage market index coming out. Both weren't the greatest, but the last couple of reports of those were phenomenal. So I think the market's going to kind of turn a blind eye to that. Aside from that, though, the big thing for today is going to be interest rate decision. So it is fair to assume that we're not going to be getting any cut, but what is stated by Powell afterwards, that's going to be the big deal and really move the broader market, because the market's always forward looking, wants to really look at the next big catalyst, and it might kind of fixate on March being the next kind of catalyst for a rate cut. Aside from that, though, interestingly enough, you see a lot of articles mentioning that so far the futures are somewhat mixed. I don't see what the hell people are talking about, because I see just a lot of bullishness. So Dow is up 0.04, S&P up 0.27, NASDAQ up 0.85. So I'm not really sure where people are getting the mixed on, but nonetheless, gold is also running up, silver, oil, so definitely looks like a pretty good day. Fear and greed index is under the greed category, meaning people's appetite for risk is on the table. And as well, after hours today, we do have a lot of big companies unveiling their earnings. So Microsoft, Meta, Tesla are some of them. So yeah, over the next couple of trading days, it's going to be a wild ride. Aside from that, getting right to it, SoFi is just piggybacking off the broader market, up 0.39%. Shorts are increasing about 5,000 shares. 9.27% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 115.15 million shares overall are being shorted. Some of you that kind of pay attention to what the short interest is and was, there was a change. So 2 times per month the NASDAQ does, or I guess exchanges do, disclose the true amount of shares being shorted. It's always delayed, so they just put it out. So as of January the 14th, again, it's delayed, there was about 113.72 million shares being shorted. Previously, it was 117, so shorts actually did return more than what we thought, roughly around 4 million more through primarily the dark pool. So that's why that did change, and actually every other stock that I'm going to be talking on, that's why it also did change. But with it at 25.53, it is trading between this pivot and this S1. So 25.18, 25.73 is going to be the next strong target and support. Moving on, NIO. So NIO is up 3.66%. I'll do a little bit more of a dedicated NIO video later today, so kind of stay tuned for that. But a lot of Chinese EVs are really running, so that's kind of a good thing. Shorts, on the other hand, are still increasing, about 21,000 shares. 7.9% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 160.91 million shares overall being shorted. So definitely some interesting stuff for that. Right now with that 480, it is exactly on this S1. So 480 is going to be a key pivot for NIO. And best case scenario, it closes above that. But as what we've seen in the past, this is what shorts like to do. They like to hit it hard just so it does break below these key pivots. So don't be surprised if you see shorts very active today and try to break it below that 480. Moving on, ticker is PDYN. So they are up 47%, a lot of volume. I believe this is the third most heavily traded stock share in the pre-market, and that is because of this. So they did win a U.S. Air Force swarming contract. So I'm not really familiar with that, but based on this, it doesn't actually show any kind of dollar value, what they are winning, how much the contract's for, and blah, blah, blah. But nonetheless, market seems to really like that. Shorts seem to kind of not, or they do like it, I guess, if they're increasing. So they're increasing about 35,000 shares. 22.61% of the free float's being shorted, works to be 7.3 million shares overall being shorted. So shorts, you can kind of see, are very reactive. There is a lot of FTDs that seems to surround this stock. So potentially there's some sketchiness kind of occurring. FTDs are failure to deliver. On a side note, right now with it at 921, it is trading between this R1 and the pivot. So 729 and 1067 is going to be the next strong support and target. And realistically, given what's happening, I could see this R1 being touched fairly easily, so that 1067, so you could be seeing a nice opportunity for a day trade, swing trade. And then depending on how Powell comes out, you could see some consolidation to that 729, possibly. So this one will be a good one for day trades. Rich Tech, they are consolidating a little bit. Nothing really new for them for news today. But then again, any stock running up like 20-30%, you're going to have a certain level of pullback. So this is completely normal, happens all the time. But some key levels that you really want to watch for with that 513 is going to be that 494 to really hold, and then 466. Flip side, 539 is going to be that key pivot. So if you do see a nice recovery above that, then you'll see most likely a nice swing trade opportunity, a multi-day one. So aside from that, shorts are increasing about 181,000 shares. 23.7% of the free float is being shorted, versus to be 31.5 million shares overall being shorted. So shorts, no different than yesterday. They did double down, so they're going to be trying to slow the progress a little bit. And then moving on, last but not least, ticker is KUST. So for those of you that tune into a lot of my videos, I always kind of acknowledge these types of stocks. So it is down 99.88% over the last 1 year. This hands down is instantly a red flag to me. So as I've mentioned in the past, instantly once you see this, pop over to dilutiontracker.com. It is completely free. I don't have the paid version of it. All you want to do is just look to see if they have convertible notes or some convertible debt product at all, and just to see the magnitude. And so this stock does have a lot of that, and honestly these death kind of convertible notes and whatever, they are the death sentence for a stock. So even though the stock didn't put out any news, they did put out this right here, a amended 8K. And if you look at this, the only thing that they did amend was they added the forward-looking statement. That is it. So news that they took from January the 22nd that are recycling, they just added a forward-looking statement. So in my opinion, just pretty much says that don't take this for face value and whatever. So in general, this stock, I think you can make some very good money on this dilution wave, but be very, very cautious, because things like the ride could end immediately and it just goes down. So leave this for more of the experienced traders, but nonetheless, you definitely could make some pretty good money off of this. Regarding shorts, only 2.6% of the free float is being shorted, works to be 19,000 shares, so nothing too crazy. Right now with that 253, trading between this pivot and this S1, so 171, 264 is going to be the next strong support and target. But this type of run that's led by primarily dilution, that's a beast in among itself. Usually doesn't follow these all that much. So let me know your thoughts on these stocks. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. One final thing, pop over to my Patreon if you're looking for some solid on-point buy signals on stocks, options, crypto. Put out daily day trades, numerous swing trades. Worthwhile to pop over there and check that out. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.